and welcome once again to my channel, The Special Moms World. This channel was created as a resource place for moms who have special needs kids, the special moms. That's what I call them. The reason for this channel is to be able to share personal experiences of other people, and resources, lessons, stories, journeys through raising special needs kids. And today I'm going to be looking at the topic, the emotions to expect from having a special needs child. It's a very interesting topic for me because I'm going to be sharing from my own personal story how I've been able to navigate the journey so far. I've not been so long in this journey, but I've had all kinds of emotions in this journey, and I'm just going to share how it's been, what to expect, and then at the end, it's not about judging you or telling you it's wrong for you to feel this way or you shouldn't feel that way and all of that. It's more or less to tell you that it's not only you who feels that way. People who I have talked to over time still sharing the fact that they also felt this way sometimes. So I'm just going to be sharing some of these details. The first one I'm going to talk about is denial. Yes, the first time when we got my daughter's diagnosis. Okay, but first of all, it took 6 weeks for us to, it took about 4 weeks for us to get a result after her test. So first of all, when the doctor told us that he thinks it was spinal muscular atrophy, and then I went to research on spinal muscular atrophy and all it entails, I just kept telling myself, this is not our portion. It can't happen. It can't happen. It can't be my child. It can't be my child. It can't be my child. And all of that. So I kept telling myself that it can't be my child. My child can, excuse me, my child can't have this condition. So the first feeling or the first emotion that I dealt with was denial. I totally denied it being happening. And then finally when we got the diagnosis, yes, of course, the first thing that hit me then was the disappointment and how come and all of that. Being a person of faith, being someone who I feel I have a very good relationship with God, and I mean, through her pregnancy, we prayed enough. We prayed a lot. We prayed a lot. My husband would wake up in the morning, lay hands on my stomach, make declarations over the baby in our womb, and I had the book Supernatural Childbirth by Jackie McKenzie that I was using to make my declarations over her too. So I remember clearly how I spoke over her organs. You know, in the book you have prayers over the eyes, the lungs, the heart, so I made those declarations. So the first thing that hit me was the disappointment. I mean, what happened after all the prayers, after all the things that we said? How come? Why would this happen? So the disappointment came, and then when I went through that phase of disappointment, the next thing was guilt, because there's this general feeling that you failed this child somehow. Maybe if I had eaten better, maybe if I had exercised better, maybe if I had taken one thing better, maybe if I had done, oh, maybe even the prayer, maybe I didn't even pray enough, oh, maybe. So there's this guilt that somehow you failed this child. There's this guilt that you could have done something that could have made this child not to have this condition. There are the what if questions that keep popping up in your head. What if you had done things this way? What if you had done things that way? And all of that. So the guilt literally comes. But let me chip in here and tell you that sincerely, don't beat yourself up on that. The illustration I always made, or I always comforted myself with, I say that there are mad women on the streets who don't even know who got them pregnant, live through the pregnancy, have their child, these children come out okay, sound, no issues, nothing, with all the things they ate while they were pregnant. the child still comes out okay. So let's deal with this guilt. Please take yourself out of it. Take yourself out of it. You did what you could have as a mom. No mom that I know would deliberately do anything to harm the child in their womb. So I want you to know that you did what you could. And then there comes the worst let me call it the worst feeling ever: jealousy. Yes. I shamelessly and shamefully admit the jealousy part of the whole thing. There are some times when I would see children who were the same age with her doing the things that she couldn't do, and then there's this little tug in my heart that just goes, oh, she could have been doing all of this. And then in a very short moment, I feel jealous that this child is able to do the things that my child is not able to do. Yes, so I feel jealous. I remember after we got my daughter's diagnosis, and a dear friend of mine was talking to me, and she was complaining about how her toddler was everywhere, was kicking her, was doing every kind of thing. And at that moment, as in, let me call it lose guard moment, I just told her, would you have it otherwise? Would you have it that she's not doing all of these things? And I knew that I made that statement out of, can't you just be thankful that you even have a child who is running around and doing all of that? But I had to apologize because I know I let the emotions get the best of me. And I knew she was not complaining to me to make me feel bad. She was only complaining to me I was her friend, and she was just sharing what she was going through with me. Not that she wanted to make me feel bad about my child being the way my child was, but that was just the reaction I had. So yes, that thing of jealousy may come sometimes when you see children the same age with your child doing the things that your child is not able to do at that time. So you might feel that thing of jealousy. It comes. The most important thing is that when it comes, you're able to address it. You don't let it fester. You don't let it grow. You don't let it grow into something that will make you bitter and angry. Then there's overwhelm. My husband will always say that I get overwhelmed easily. I let things overwhelm me a lot. So the overwhelm will come. The times when you are, I'm one of the things I'm learning to get over is thinking of 10 steps ahead. I'm always thinking of 10 steps ahead instead of thinking of the very next step I'm going to take. So as I am here, when we first got my daughter's diagnosis, you won't believe that some of the thoughts I was thinking was, will she ever have a boyfriend? Will she ever be able to get married? She won't even be able to have her own children. As in, this is someone who was 2 years old, 18 months old at the time, and I was already thinking. So I'm always thinking 10 steps ahead instead of thinking of the very next step to take. So that overwhelm will come. Sometimes you feel overwhelmed by the things that you are expected to do, all the things that is expected for you, maybe medically, nutritionally. They tell you, okay, medically you have to be doing therapy once every week or twice every week. You think of the foods that they say you need to prepare. You have to settle down and plan the meals that you need to do. A lot of things, the learning pattern that you have to develop. So when you think of all the things that are expected of you, you might get to feel that overwhelm. Here's me telling you one step, the very next step. What's the very next thing that you will do? Is it the therapy? Sit down and plan out how that therapy will work. I found out that planning things out makes it a lot easier for me. In fact, I could even wake up in a day and I will write out how I'm going to plan the meal for the day. I can wake up in a day and I'll plan out what we're going to learn for that day and all of that. Just think of the very next thing that you can do. What are you going to do today? What are you going to do just today and tomorrow? Just think of it that way. It makes the overwhelm less and less for you. The next emotion I'm going to talk about, next thing I'm going to talk about is frustration. Yes, there are times when you are frustrated. When I was pregnant, when I was pregnant, and my husband traveled, and I was alone with my daughter, and that period was a period where our biggest fight was sleep. She didn't like to sleep, so you will see us by 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and she's still wide awake. And the time was, if she was going to be awake and then allow you sleep while she's awake, maybe watching a cartoon or something, you'll be fine. So you tell her, whenever you're ready to sleep, you sleep, let me be sleeping my own sleep. But as long as she's awake, you are going to be awake with her. So I remember some nights I'll just lie down there beside her, I'll put pillow over my head and be screaming so that frustration can come. And sometimes I'll tell her, shift before I'll beat nonsense out of your body and all those things. So yes, the frustrations will come. I think the most important thing is being self-aware. When you are getting frustrated, you know that you're getting frustrated. Sometimes, in all honesty, I leave her and I walk away. The past few months, when it was just two of us in the house, and sometimes when she just becomes unnecessarily cranky, I try to do everything I can to get her to calm her down, and I am not getting it. What I do is that I just leave her in a position where I know that she's safe, and I just walk out to the balcony, close the door, and just stand by the balcony and just look around and breathe. Because the truth is that you need your head in a good place, in a safe place, to be able to handle everything that is coming at you at the same time. And then most of all, when you have to deal with taking care of her, you have your own work to think about, you have your home to think about. If you have other children, you have other children to think about. The frustration can be very real. So the advice on this is take some time off. Take some time off. If you can get someone to handle some of the things that you are doing so that you can go have some time to breathe, please do it. Please do it, and it will help handle the frustrations. And then be very willing to apologize after your frustrating outbursts. Yes, after the frustration, after all the screaming and shouting and all, still look at the child and say, I'm sorry I had to be this way. They are human beings. No matter what mental capacity or capabilities they have, they are human beings. Even talking to them about it, admitting it to them, even helps to ease it off for you also. It works for me. I don't know, I'm sure it will work for a lot more people. Another thing is depression. You might find yourself slipping into depression from time to time. Yes, you feel yourself getting into this dark place where, because you are allowing the overwhelm get to you, it's all that's clouding your thoughts, it's all that is you are thinking of, and then you find yourself losing touch with life. The things that used to make you excited stop making you excited. The things that used to make sense to you stop making sense to you. For the most part of last year, of 2020, after my daughter's diagnosis, I was in this very dark place. Because it was as if I was alone in the whole world, as if no other person understood exactly what I was going through. It was as if I was just in this my cocoon. I had to deactivate my social media pages and all of that. The only thing I was doing from morning till night was just to watch TV. And I was watching crime and investigation channels. And then I'll watch... The programs I was watching were programs that will get me more depressed and all of that. So, yes, it will come. The thing about it is, like I said, being self-aware. That's the best way to manage all of these emotions. Be self-aware. When you know that this thing is coming and you have someone you can talk to, for instance, you have a very supportive partner, let your partner know that this is what I'm going through right now. I'm going to need your help. If they can help, they will step in and help. If you have friends who you can trust, who you can rely on, let them know that this is exactly what you are feeling, this is exactly how you are feeling, and let them step in and help. They can decide to take you out, they can decide to get you to do activities that will make you breathe, feel. They can decide to come take turns in taking care of the child or taking care of your children so that you can handle some other things. But be self-aware. Just know when you are slipping into this, and then reach out for help. Reach out for help. Some people are very strong, independently strong. They can talk themselves out of things. They can walk themselves out of things. Not everybody will be that way. Not everybody have trained themselves to be that way. Some of us, we still need external help. We still need people to come in and help us walk through these times. As much as possible, reach out, reach out, reach out. Have if you have support communities that you can be in, hear other people's stories, hear people share their own experiences. It helps you to know that you're not alone. And that's the next emotion I'm going to talk about: loneliness. Sometimes you feel very lonely. Everybody is in the house, but you just feel alone. I felt that way. My husband was there, very willing to do anything I would want him to do. Was there for me, always asking, how are you doing, how are you feeling? Sometimes he would look at me and say, how are you really feeling? And I'll say, fine. I just wanted to keep everything in. I wanted to internalize everything by myself, deal with it by myself and all of that. And it was sinking me a lot deeper and deeper and deeper into the mess. So having a support community can help you deal with that loneliness. You know, you can come and share exactly what is going through your head. If you're not someone who likes to talk in public, you can have someone that you can talk to privately, and that is one of the reasons why I share my private contact under every of my videos, because I know there are people who might not talk in Facebook groups, who might not talk in WhatsApp groups, but they need someone that they can talk to personally. I'm that kind of person. If you put me in a group and you expect me to share, initially I might not get to share. It will take me some time to share, but if I have someone I can talk to personally and tell the person everything that I am dealing with, it's easier for me. So that's why I drop my contact with, in every of the videos, so that if you're that kind of person who needs someone, just one person that you can talk to about what you are dealing with, then you can always reach out to me. I don't have all the answers. I'm still learning. I'm still learning to deal with my own stuff. But I know people that I can ask. I can refer you to people who you can talk to also, who would help you walk through all of this. Okay, it's a very emotional video, and it's already about 18 minutes long, but I just hope I've been able to share some of the emotions. And if you're a special mom or a special need parent or caregiver, and you have dealt with any of the emotions that I did not mention here, or you have dealt with any of the emotions I've mentioned here, you can feel free to share your experience in the comment section, and let's all learn from that also. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'm really glad, really glad that you stayed up to this point. Please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to share this video with someone who you think would really need it. And I will be seeing you in my very next video.